Alright, hey guys, Aquatic Bob's here. Today we're going to be doing a water change and changing out some carbon and possibly GFO. I actually still got to check the water test and see what my levels are at, but yeah, got the tank opened up here. Let's get into it. Alright, hey guys, so I got a few things out of the tank already. This is BRS's dual reactor. Got for carbon and GFO. You can see I unplugged it and the whole thing is starting to drop down here. That's the carbon block. Well, it turned into a block. But anyways, and the other side is GFO. I still don't need to change the GFO. It's been a little over a month since I changed it, but it's high capacity, so, and I do want to raise my phosphate levels a little bit, so I'm going to try to run it a little bit longer than usual. And I do it kind of the old-fashioned way, you could say. I don't have an automatic water changer. I am the automatic water changer, but I kind of enjoy it. So downstairs I have a big 45-gallon brute trash can, and I put my RO water in there. I don't have a float valve, so I just let it run all day, and then I shut the sink off at night and make sure it's at a good level. Then I add my salt, put a couple pumps and a heater in there, let it mix up overnight, so it mixes up a good 24 hours. And then I pull out my buckets and I leave my sump on so water keeps circulating to the tank, and I'll take out probably 5 to 8 gallons. That way it's sucking some water from the sump too and lowering the sump water. And then I'll shut the whole system down. That way the sump is low and most of the water's in the tank. Then I'll take out, usually I do 25 to 30 gallon water changes once. I was doing it once every week, but because I want to get my nutrients up, this is the first water change in 3 weeks that I've done. And so yeah, I just, I'll do probably it's like 28 gallons today, and just siphon it. I got a big tube here. It's a big tube, takes about 30 seconds to fill up a 5-gallon bucket, so it's really not too long. I don't vacuum the sand or anything. Sometimes I might suck out a spot if it's got some nasty stuff on it. But from start to finish, if I just do a water change, it takes me about 25 to 30 minutes. If I do this extra stuff, it usually takes about an hour. But really it's not bad if you consider an hour once every couple of weeks. And yeah, like I said, I enjoy it. Like I said, just changing out the carbon today. They give you this tool that grips to the thing. It's pretty nice. This reactor is not too expensive either, especially if you don't get it without the pump, like if you have just a regular little pump laying around. And it's got these push to connect tubing, so you just push it in and it locks. Then you push the lock down and just pull it right out. So it's pretty nice. And you just loosen it up with that. There we go. Got that off. Usually just dump some of this water out. Now what I'm going to do is, this will drain out, but I'll take this outside, I'll dump all the carbon out outside of the yard. Now I'll just spray everything down with the hose really strong. And once I get it all cleaned, I bring it inside and I refill it up with the carbon. I'll show you guys this as we go too a little bit, but probably won't make my wife follow me around all over the place. But and then you refill it up with the carbon, and then I flush it with regular house water, and then I do a final flush and rinse with RO water. And I rinse everything down with RO water. That way it gets all the chlorine or whatever else might be in the city water out of it. And I put it back in, and then I hook it up to the tank. Then I let it flush a good half gallon to a gallon of salt water through. I just flush it back into the bucket here, so it's not filtering through the tank. And once it kind of purifies and everything, then I just let it run back into the tank. So pretty simple to do it. Yeah, if you guys want to get one, I would really recommend it. They even have single ones too. So maybe you already have like a GFO system or a phosphate lowering system, or maybe you have carbon already and you want to get GFO. They do have a single one too, and they are pretty simple. So I recommend using one of these. Oh, my other light just turned on. Nice little background light. I dumped out the old carbon. We're in my bathroom, right? And this is what I use. There's several different types of carbon that you can use. I get the bulk Reef Supply Rocks 0.8 carbon. It's like these little, it's really hard to see, but they almost look like little pieces of pencil lead. And they're very lightweight and water passes through them easy. They do a really good job pulling and stripping from the water toxins, and they also crystallize your water, make it ultra blue, take that yellow tint out of it. So I know not everybody likes to run carbon. I do. I don't run a lot, just a little bit. And I'm actually thinking about cutting back to just running it for a few days, once a week or something, to clean up the water and then shutting it off. But yeah, so here's what I do. I just turn on a little bit of flow from the faucet. Now you're going to see it's rinsing the carbon here. Doesn't take much. And once I get a good rinse of it, I got my jug of RO water back here. So I got my RO water. But what I'm going to do first is put the rest of these sponges in and put the whole thing back together, and that's when I'll do my final rinse. We got her hooked back up. I flushed out. I put everything back in, flushed it out with RO water, and it's not running right now, but I plugged it back in. I lost my camera lady, so, but we're all flushed out, plumbed it with salt water, ran about a gallon through, and put everything back in, connected the tubes. The tubes are very easy. You just push it in and they kind of like lock in place when you try to pull it back out, and put the whole unit back in. And so we're down about a gallon of water. So I unplugged the auto top off already so that it wouldn't try to replenish it with fresh water. And what we're going to do now is just leave the return pump plumbing water through the system back through, and once I drain about another 4 gallons of water, I'll go down and shut it off quick and shut down the whole system. That way the sump will be really low and I'll be able to pull most of the water from the water change from the main display while being able to clean out the sump at the same time pretty easily. So let's get to it here. Now we're ready to start taking water out of the tank. Got our tube. The whole system's still going, so when I get close to filling up one of these buckets, you're going to see me go down quick, and I'm just going to flip the whole outlet switches off. It's going to shut down pretty much everything. The lights, I think, are all on a separate switch, so that way the sump doesn't get too low and start sucking air through the return pump. And there is one pump here that this one is connected to a separate circuit, so if I don't unplug it, it doesn't shut off, and then the water level goes below and it starts blowing air through that. So I try to be prepared for that. But here we go. Old-fashioned siphoning. Try not to get too much in your mouth. Didn't get any in my mouth. It's good news. So basically what's happening right now is the tank is staying close to the same level and it's just pulling water from the sump as the sump spits water into the tank. And as soon as the sump drops to a certain temperature or level, which is right there, come down, just flip these off. I'm going to touch lower than I wanted to. I got to remember I got all that coral down in the sump, and if I go too low, it'll all be hanging out of the water. So yeah, there we go. And then I just keep going on filling up the buckets. Whew. I run up and down the stairs with these buckets to fill it up. I'll just show you this too. So I use one of those top-down viewing coral viewers, and I actually dump the water into it, so it's not just a steady stream. I know most of you guys probably do that too, but it saves the rest of your tank from just getting blasted from a direct line of water. So I'll show you. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but like I said, I enjoy it. And you can see this really helps a lot. And we're almost there. Still catching my breath. You can see overflows into the teeth there. Back down. Through the bulkheads. So the middle one is the return, the left one is the primary drain, the right one is the emergency. They come down and run into there. I only got one filter suck, and sometimes that guy fills up and gets dirty within 3 or 4 days to the point that water splashes up and it causes salt creep. And if I don't clean it for a couple of months like I haven't, you see all that salt there. But it doesn't really hurt anything, it just doesn't look great. Into the protein skimmer, and yeah, then I got my water lines, so you can see the line right there. That's where the water level's at. There's the coral and the sump. Gonna be selling some more. Got everything plugged back in and hooked up. Let me grab the flashlight and see if... Well, try to get a better... You just can't really see it. But anyways, well, there you can see it a little bit. The GFO tumbling in the back. This one's pushing water through. Usually takes a day before all the air in there gets pushed through. About 20 minutes ago when I plugged everything back in, it was at like 1/4 of an inch. Now it's at about 3 inches, so might be a little quicker today. And it's not really a big deal, so water is still running through the carbon. There's just air in the outer tubing. And here's the auto top-off reservoir. Here's Elion, who's got his towel, and he likes to clean the glass. You want to clean the glass, bud?
Clean the glass?
Yeah, wipe the glass. Good job. Good job, bud. I just wiped off all the glass. He loves helping me on this tank, so he's going to be a professional reefer someday, even teaching his dad. How old are you?
2.
2. Good job. What's your name?
2.
No, what's your name?
Iron.
Yeah, you're Elion. Good job, bud. So yeah, everything's looking great. The salinity was exactly the same, 35 parts per million, I think. And I like measuring it that way. I feel like it's a little bit more precise for me, easier. And yeah, coral is looking good. Nothing really closes up during water changes. Everything continues to look good. Got cyano. Just a pain in the rear end, man. But yeah, I know some of you guys wanted to see coral shots with the whites on. So right now my tank is, all the lights are 100%. Even the T5s are on. The Radion in the middle. The two Hydra 32s on the ends, and then the Reef Bright strip. It's not the XHO. I think that would just be too much. But yeah, so our colors are looking good. And this guy, over the last probably a week, you can see some of the pink on the far side and right up close on this side. It's the Top Shelf Aquatics Circus Freak Acropora. And my sun's shining the light in the tank. And yeah, starting to get some really nice colors. Here's the Top Shelf Aquatics Haymaker. Starting to get some color. These guys are all just so pale from low nutrients. Over the last week, everything, the Acropora now are starting to color up. The first ones I noticed when raising nutrients was all the LPS, especially acans. And now, a couple weeks in, the Acropora are starting to show. So that's just a good reminder that things really do take time in the hobby. I mean, you can see some very slight differences pretty quickly, which is really a huge encouragement. But a lot of it, really have to have patience and consistency. So yeah, anyways guys, that's just kind of a brief overview of how I do my water changes and some tank maintenance, changing out carbon. I would do the same process for changing out GFO. Probably the next water change I might do both, or I might even wait another month or two, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, appreciate you. If you like the video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, let me know, a comment, some of your thoughts, maybe how you do water changes. And also, if you have any video ideas, I'd appreciate to hear those. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, where I'm going to be talking about 10 things I wish I knew before getting into the hobby. Alright guys, Aquatic Bobs out.